Hi, my name is Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. This is the new Elite, I'm going to say Verdict Victra. It replaces the Verdict as their target bow. So what's different about this bow than the Verdict? It has a yoke system, which means they've got rid of the limb stop. Okay, so with the limb stop, it gave you heaps of adjustment. You could do whatever you wanted with the limb stop. You could have 100% let off, you could have 0% let off. You can't do that now. Now, other reviewers of the bow never sort of highlighted that point. In fact, they gave it a very average adjustability, and I was like, no, this bow is the most adjustable bow ever. You can do whatever you want with it, but other people didn't see it that way, right? I saw it that way because I was like, if you want to shoot this bow with fingers, you could shoot with 0 let off and just shoot it like a recurve and it would be awesome. But anyway, so yoke system, the advantage of yoke system, it balances the limbs here. They've put this system on here so you can hang things off it or put a bow stand on the bottom, right? Piccadilly mount, I'm not sure you're going to use that for target archery, but if you want to use it for hunting, you can, or 3D archery. Micro adjustable yoke system. This has been around before. I don't know if it's a thing. So when I say I don't know if it's a thing, cables today are very, very good. So back in the old days, we used to use steel cables and this was a thing because you could just micro tune and it was brilliant. Today, the strings come out of the factory, they're perfect and you don't really time your cables. But it's here, and so basically you don't need a bow press to micro tune your cables. Now some of my friends, their cables stretch and they lose a little bit of bow poundage, 2 or 3 pounds. You can pick up 2 or 3 pounds with this, okay? So 2 or 3 pounds is not an issue for me. If it's an issue for you, you're probably going to be happy with this. So let's talk a bit about what's changed, what's new, what's different, why this bow is the best target bow on the market. And I'm just going to start with that point, and you can argue the point as much as you like. First off, it's got adjustability in draw length. Okay, so it goes from 25.5 to 31 inches. You don't need to buy a module. So some of the bows, you've got to buy modules for each one of those draw lengths, and it's a complete nightmare. This, you just rotate it to whatever you want. It's not half-inch increments. You can do whatever you want. So that's cool, right? Look, other bows that have got systems similar to this are PSE and Bowtech. Okay, so Hoyt doesn't have as much adjustability, but they do have a rotating cam, and full credit for them for doing that because they didn't have that before. Although they don't do it on their hunting bow. Their hunting bow's only got 1 inch, which seems crazy to me. But anyway, it's got a yoke. You can adjust the let off by moving it forward, and look at how much adjustment you've got. Now the other bow companies where you can adjust the let off is Bowtech and PSE, but they don't have as much adjustment as this. So basically you can move it from whatever you want to whatever you want, and when I say that, I'm talking 90% to probably 50%. That sort of adjustment, which is like, it's a good thing. It's easy to adjust. It's also got a lip on this side, so basically when you're pulling back, this cable here can't slip over the side. It's a good thing, right? It's smart thinking, big thick axles, a good yoke, a good bearing system in the limbs. Now with the tuning systems on bows, so why do you want tuning on bows? Because if you're bare shafting or shooting through paper and you want to tune your bow with a Hoyt, you've got to drop the cams out, you need a bow press, you need to shim it. It's all very expensive and all very timely. It can take you 2 hours to tune a bow or longer. The Matthew system, they had like shims and that was all sorts of problems, and they moved to moving limbs. PSE, you still need a bow press and you need to buy the shims to clip in. Look, it's not bad, but you still need a bow press. Bowtech, I'm going to say, is it the best tuning system? Look, probably. It moves the cam left to right with a little system. The Elite system, which is just there, locks in place. It's very good, and it moves the limbs like this. Now, half an inch, half a turn on this is a lot. So I've had 2 or maybe 3 people strip out this bolt because I've overdone it, right? Half is all you need. Half in one direction, it shows you which way to turn it. I turned it the wrong way because I didn't know which way it meant to turn because I was doing bare shaft as opposed to paper tuning. But literally it took me 2 minutes to tune the bow. I was sold on it. And is it better than the Bowtech? It's pretty good, right? It's very, very good. You've got limb locking. Now the other bows that have limb locking, Bowtech's got limb locking. I'm starting to get a theme here. Things I like: rotating modules, adjustable let-off, tuning, limb locking. PSE used to have limb locking, they got rid of it. I don't understand. Right, the thing I like about the Elite is the size of this module. Look how big this module is. It's big and fat. It has 2 edges where it tracks. I really like that. Other bow companies don't. What I like about a big thick module is it's not going to bend, it's not going to move. It's solid. Big thumbs up, right? Roller cable slide here. Some bows don't do roller cable slides. I like roller cable slides. Several reasons. The cables aren't moving backwards and forwards, so less vibration, less noise. Most of the hunting bows now have roller cable slides. There's a couple of target bows which don't. Most do have this now. This is adjustable left and right. I wouldn't be touching it. You can do it for like some tuning if you want to make some more clearance here, but I wouldn't touch anything, right? Multiple sight hole positions, so move your sight up or down. Well, that's a good thing. Two grub screws for screwing your arrow rest on. That's a good thing. Bushings for your stabilizers. That's a good thing. Some bows don't do that, and you've got a top and a bottom. That's a good thing. On the back, you have 2 bushings, a high and a low with bushings. Good thing, because some bows, they go straight into the metal and you chip your paint off on the back. It's a good thing. The stop here is good. You can see it actually touches. It's simple, it works. Okay, let's talk about paint. Elite has basically 3 types of paint. The black is more coarse to touch. This is they impregnate it. I'm not going to say what it is because it just means nothing to me on how it works. It's like a magic system that absorbs into the metal. They bake it into the metal. It's not a powder coat. It's something else. It lasts forever. It's not as smooth as paint to touch. So a paint finish like the high gloss brown, the raspberry and the red are a paint. So they're a high gloss like a car paint, right? So they're very smooth to touch. So if you've got sweaty hands, you're more likely to slip around on the paint than on this color, right? While it's smooth, you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that it's not smooth like paint, like a varnish is. And that's up to you. I like the look of the paint. It looks gloss, it looks expensive, but this will last literally forever. The strings on these bows are really good. They're winner's choice, which means when you fit your peep, it's not going to rotate. It's not going to be a nightmare for the shop. It's not going to be a nightmare for you. Some swing around and then you've got to put new strings and cables on. So then you're up for the cost of new strings and cables on an expensive bow. And then they're going to charge you to fit that, and then you're up for an extra $400 odd, and on top of the cost of the bow. All right. Right, so this comes with smooth modules. Elite have the option, I think the option of performance or smooth. They're going to cost you around $170. The difference is about 3 feet per second. And people come to my shop, well, can I feel the difference between smooth and performance? Look, it's not much. It's just at the end, it dumps into the valley more with the performance, so it builds up a little bit more, so you get a little bit more speed. So I prefer the smooth just because I don't like the dumping into the valley. I just like it to be a bit smoother, and 2 or 3 feet's not going to worry me. If I want to pick up 2 or 3 feet, pick it up with the arrows. All right, shoot lighter arrows. That's my view. If you want more speed, 2 or 3 feet. If it really worries you, it doesn't worry me. The finish on the bow, I think, looks great. The machining looks great. The edges are all rounded, they're not sharp. Some bows, when they do the machining is sharp. They haven't, when I say they haven't finished it, they haven't finished it. This looks great. In here, the paintwork looks good, although it is a little bit dull in spots, but that's to be expected in the things to get the paint in. But it looks... The finish on the Elite, especially in the paints, is equivalent to any other bow in the marketplace as far as quality. It looks just as good, and you could argue better. Now, if you own a Verdict like myself, why would you buy this bow? I don't see there's any real reason to, right? The reason why I would buy this bow is because I own a shop, and I shoot whatever the latest stuff is out. And then I'd be thinking, well, do I buy this bow or do I buy the Exalt 35? Or do I buy a Votech Reckoning, right? So let's just talk a little bit about this. This is 37.5 inches axle to axle. Longer axle to axle means the peep sight's going to be closer to your eye, so a little bit easier than a shorter bow to get that peep sight closer. Doesn't make much difference. The brace height on this is 7 inches. The Verdict was a little bit more, 7.1. The Exalt is like that much shorter. So it's going to aim about the same. The longer the brace height, the less shakes you're going to get. The grips feels the same. There is a company in America who does like plastic grips, molded grips for this bow. Now they don't export to Australia, and I'm basically talking to them at the moment about getting some. I haven't looked at it yet, but I like the feel of the Elite grip. So Bowtech has got an adjustable grip. Hoyt's got an adjustable grip. PSC, I think, has got some adjustability on their grip. But I like this, and the reason I like the Elite grip is because here it comes tapered in, and you can see here it's tapered in, so my fingers go in the same spot every time. Now if you change the pressure on your grip, you change where the arrow goes into the target. So the grip is so important. To me, it's the most important thing, the grip on a riser, whether it be compound or recurve, right? So I've never shot this bow before. It's the first time I've shot it. My back is really sore. I haven't got sight settings. It's the first time. The arrows I'm shooting, I've got no peep sight. It's meant to be set on 60. It's fully wound up, 60 pound bow. Should be at 29 inches draw length because it's straight out the box. I haven't done anything to it. I've got a basic D loop. I use this sight now, CBE Tech, because it's a bit quicker for me with the hybrid adjustment on the side here to get the up and down correct, and a basic whisker biscuit. That's all I test with. The arrows I'm using today are Pandarus Alpha X's, because when I did one of the reviews, I used the thinner arrows that I normally use, and the arrows fell through the whisker biscuit and I got some low results. So I thought, let's try these. These are cheap, about 70 bucks a dozen. When you're first testing a bow, I would suggest winding down the bow and be close to the target. I'm about 2 meters away from the target, so if anything goes wrong, the arrow's going to go on the target, right? Because on your first draw, that's the risky one. After that, it's all good, right? So, and I say this, and people may ignore me. I say this because it's always 70-pound bows. It's always on the first draw, people blow them up, okay? And I'm always, whenever I send out a bow, I'm like, I hope this bow doesn't come back. Anyway, so let's try it. And always aim at the target. So the draws, look, these cams are the same as the Verdict. Some people say these are the best cams on the market. Someone said that the PSC cams are better. They're about the same speed, so they should be about the same, right? I like these. I like the modules are thick. I like the draw cycle. It's smooth. That's smooth. It's building now, peak, and it's probably going to drop into the valley there. That feels exactly like 29 to me, and we're going to take the shot. Right, so it's on probably around 90% let off, and I'm getting back there and the pin's not moving. It's just dead still. I'm like, this is so easy. I shoot the shot. There's no vibration. The bow doesn't move. It just sits there. Often with target bows, they come back because they're back heavy, because they're going to be built to have a stabilizer on them. This is beautiful. I think it looks better than the Verdict. I think the machining looks better. This cage riser here is meant to improve the strength of the riser as far as its strength left to right. We're going to just move a little bit left. And the other reason why you start off close is because you don't know where your sights are. Okay, so from here I gradually work my way back to 18, and then I'll do another video, it will be in this video, where I show this bow being shot at 18, but I work my way back there. I don't start at 20 because I don't want to miss. So the draw cycle feels like all the other Elites. Okay, now if you've got the Elite with performance mods, well, it's going to dump into the valley more. If you've got the bigger cams, it's going to build up a bit quicker. It's going to be a bit faster, but it's not bad. This is a 335 feet per second bow, 334. It weighs 4.8 pounds, which is not on the lighter side, but it's about the same as all the other target bows. Some people are going to want lighter, and that's a problem because they don't really make lighter today. So look, there are some bows. Win and Win have got carbon bow, which is a bit lighter, but there's not that many light target bows. Most of them are around this weight, and I think a bow company would benefit from a lighter target bow for people who are getting older, for women, for kids, for people who just aren't as strong. But to me, it feels perfect. It's unbelievably good. The grip, I love the draw cycle, I love the adjustability, I love the tunability, I love the finish. It's very good. Now, when I choose a bow, I look at all the things. The draw cycle, the grip, the adjustability, the tunability. And I really like Bowtech. I like the thing that you can flip the module from performance to smooth. I like the tunability. I like the finish. The paintwork looks amazing. But I think I like the Elite grip better. I like the Elite grip better. I think it's more repeatable for my hand position. I think I aim well with it. I think I like the draw a little bit better. That's not me crapping on Bowtech because I really like the Bowtech. But this is just... How quiet is it? It's so quiet. Could you use this bow for 3D? Yeah, absolutely you could. Just shoot lighter arrows. Shoot some 3D HVs or shoot the HLRs from Victory. Speed will be up. You'll have all the accuracy in the world. It's just... I'm going to sound like the guy selling the Matthews, but selling an Elite. But it's just good. Price point on this bow. I haven't gone back to 18, but let's talk about price point because I'm like, this is the greatest bow ever. Look, my price on this bow I think is $2,700. I'm pretty sure my Verdict was $2,400. So that's $300 more. I don't know if this bow is $300 more than the Verdict. My freight into Australia was $300 US for this bow. I think Elite made a mistake with the freight. It's normally 150 US, and I think I'm going to be able to get down to about 120 Australian. So it's possible that this bow will drop in Australia. but I have to wait for the next Elite shipment. I lost my sales rep for Elite, so someone else new is going to move in, and then I'm still waiting for that account to be looked at for the freight, because it seemed all sorts of wrong. The freight on the shipment before it and the freight was after it was 150 a bow, and this one was 350 a bow. Didn't make any sense at all. This was a bigger shipment, so it should have been even cheaper. But anyway, Elite limbs are very good. I've had maybe 3 Elite limbs replaced in my lifetime. And that would be for everything. You know, that's people dropping them, people breaking them, people shooting their release aids into them. They've been very, very solid. The reason they're so solid is there's not much tension on them. Okay, the less tension you put on a limb, the more likely it is it will last. This is a piece of fiberglass, same as everyone else. And when you put lots of tension on them, you're more likely to get the compression cracks on the middle, especially when you compress them in a bow press to replace the strings. That's when they break. But these don't have that much tension on them. Same thing when you're pressing a bow, you're always best to wind the bow down a bit so you don't have to press it as much to get the strings off. Puts less pressure on the limbs. Look, it's very, very good. The price point on the marketplace, where does this sit? So it's more expensive than the PSE Supra. It's, I think, a little bit cheaper than the Bowtech Reckoning, cheaper than the Matthews, cheaper than the Hoyt. And at that price point, the Hoyt you need modules for, which is still not a bad thing, but it doesn't have the tunability. The Matthews, you need modules to change it, which is going to be a nightmare for you. It's going to be a nightmare to change strings on a Matthews. I'm not doing a sales job with the other things. This will be probably a similar price to the PSE Dominator, which is a shoot-through riser. So it's, to me, even at the $2,700 price, it's priced about right, but it is possible it could drop to $2,500 with freight into Australia. So, or maybe I priced it wrong on $2,700 and the price is going up. I don't know, but that's what I've got priced at the moment. So anyway, let's take this back to 18, see how well I shoot with it. I think I'll shoot great, I really do. I haven't shot much compound lately. My back has been totaled for 2 weeks, but I feel like this bow is just going to shoot great. Let's go and see. Okay, so I'm back at 18, ready to shoot. I had about 5 or 6 practice arrows. The last one was a low 10. So my other ones, I shot some high targets, just starting the bow in, but I'm feeling it'll be pretty good. The draw length feels fractionally long for me. My draw length is probably a little bit under 29, longer than 28 and a half, but probably shorter than 29. I would shoot this bow with a little bit more holding pressure, because I think I shoot better with a little bit more holding pressure, but I think I'll shoot this fine. Now, again, I'm shooting cheap arrows, and I always worry that that the manufacturer will be angry at me, but anyway. So I think they'll shoot fine. I think I'll shoot fine. The day's not bad. Bow feels fantastic to shoot. Just get in position. Now, when it comes to arrows, I had one of my customers who brought some of the expensive arrows. $100 each. $100 each, a little bit under $100, $80 each, right? These are $70 a dozen. Now, if you're a world-class archer, I've got no problem with you buying whatever you want, and I don't really care what you buy, right? Because you might be very wealthy and go, I just want to try everything. Go for it. I've got a customer who's a doctor. He tries everything. Like he shoots bare bow, recurve, sights, compound. He's shooting really well with compound at the moment. I have no issue with that. I have issues with people shooting average, and they buy themselves good gear and they worry about breaking their gear. There's nothing in the arrows. Literally, it wouldn't be 5 points. I'm going to make myself look stupid with saying this, but I shot some $100 dozen arrows. I shot 299 out of 300. Like, even with this setup, no peep sight, no stabilizers, I think I'll shoot okay. I would shoot better with a little bit less Letoff. I would shoot better with the stabilizer, I'd shoot better with the scope, I'd shoot better with a peep, but I should still shoot okay. I would shoot a lot better if my back wasn't killing me. A lot better. I'd shoot better if I practiced. I'd shoot better if I'd been shooting the last 2 weeks, because I'd be steadier. What my point is, it's all well and good having fancy gear, but it gets back to the archer. So there's a whole bunch of shops out there who are going to try and sell you all the fancy stuff because they make money from it and they want to get rich, and that's cool. I'm obviously not one of those people. A lot of people are overbowed. They're shooting these 70-pound bows and they pull the bow back, they're holding the grip wrong, their shoulders high, and I'm like, oh, just start with a low poundage bow, learn to shoot. Learn to shoot good, then gradually work your way up. But you can't say that to people because, oh man, I know how to shoot. Oh yeah, okay, right. Okay. People ask me, what size peep? I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter. The smaller the peep, the more you've got to be, everything's got to be aligned, the less light it lets in. But the larger the peep, the more light it lets in, so you can see clearer. But then you can move around more. So, like here, I'm not even using a peep, right? So, So when I'm aiming, I'm getting a slight little like this, which I often do when I do reviews, but my sight pin's moving between the 10. So normally, like a lot of the reviews, my sight pin's moving like around the gold and into the 8s. I'm getting a little bit of a wobble in the 10. And then sometimes it goes away, so it's probably just me and my muscles, because a lot of the time it's dead still in the middle. Someone said it's unnervy, it's so still, and I'm like, it is, because normally it just moves around everywhere with lots of bows. And I feel like I'm aiming slightly low now because I've got a little group there. So I feel like I'm aiming at the group. But look, this bow feels amazing. And I really like the Exalt. I really like the Exalt as a bow to shoot. Look, a lot of bows are amazing, right? They are so good now. It's very hard to pick the difference. Alright, let's go and check where the arrows landed. Okay, so that's the group. It's very, very good. You know, obviously I haven't shot before. You can see the holes in the target. I don't do the let's shoot until I get a good group. As many people do. I just shoot and see how it feels and try and give an honest view. So I was getting a little bit of a little wobble, and it was moving between the 10, like towards the X. But I think that was just me, just my muscles, because I could settle that down to it just sitting there. It's just a bit weird. I don't know if it's just my heart or blood pressure or muscles in my back. I don't know. But the bow feels amazing to shoot. There's no vibration. The draw cycle is fantastic. Look, honestly, I don't know if it's any better than the Invicta. Not the Invicta, sorry. It's better, certainly better than the Invicta. No question. It's not even close. I can tell you why it's better than the Invicta. The draw cycle is better, vibration's better, it's easier to shoot, it aims better, it's more tunable, it's got more adjustability in everything. But then the verdict. I like the verdict, and I really like the Exalt. I like the Exalt. That, no peep, no stabilizers, like I'm happy with that. Like there's $70 arrows. Look, my scores that I would expect to shoot with all my gear, now not having shot compound for a while, not having shot for a while because I haven't shot for 2 weeks, maybe 290s out of 300s, 292s. I'd be happy with that, 292s out of 300s. And then as I train and build up, I'd like to push into 297s, 298s, right? That's kind of where I sit. I don't shoot, I've only shot 2 300s in my life, once at the Nationals. This, like, that's that, and there's no peep sight, there's no stabilizers, and they're $70 arrows. And the draw length's not where I want it, and the Letoff's not where I want it. It feels amazing. Anyway, with that, I'll be ordering one, and I'll be selling my bow. So my bow goes on the market, and then I think I will. So I've been shooting recurve now for a few years. Been building strength, and I've got to a point now that I'm as strong as I have ever been as far as archery strength. Not core strength and not cardio, but definitely shoulders and stuff. That this is as strong as I've ever been, and I actually want to shoot some compound scores. So, and we've got the Australian Field Championships coming up in Adelaide next year, so I think I'll probably shoot compound for that with the new bows. So, right, so overall with Elite, they're pretty good. I would allow around 8 weeks for the delivery of an Elite. Rough time frames. From the time they ship, it's 7 days to my door. Okay, they don't give me a time frame. They just suddenly produce an invoice and there it is, right? It's on my door 7 days later. So people are like, well, can you give me it? No, I can't give you a time frame. It's literally, I order it and then suddenly they produce an invoice and it's on my door 7 days later. So, and with this bow I'm shooting right now, I didn't even see the invoice. I saw the bow came before I saw the invoice because I have an account with them. So I didn't actually see the invoice, which is why I didn't pick up the freight problem. Anyway, Elite is very, very good with shipping. I would say 8 weeks puts it as fast as any other company at the moment. Warranties, they generally ship the warranties with the shipments. So I would say PSE is better with warranties than Elite, but I would rate Elite number 2 with warranties, and they generally want to look after you. So if you have a blunder where you shoot without an arrow and you do stuff, you know, always ask and say, because they're not too bad. They'll give you generally one. I'm not saying they're going to cover your cans when you dry fire your bow, but on the first thing, you know, ask, because they're pretty good. They're pretty good with stuff, so they might do 50% off, and I'm not saying they will, but they generally don't want to have arguments with people and end up in court, is what I'm saying, because that just is a waste of time. So, and I'm not saying have a go at Elite. If you make a mistake, just own it and just wear it. I don't know why you put the dealer and the company to cover your mistake. That doesn't make any sense to me, because the archery companies, in my view, are struggling at the moment. I don't see them flush with cash, and shops are certainly struggling. There's a local shop in Australia who's just going out of business this week. I would say half the archery shops in Australia have gone out of business in the last 3 years. So it's costs are rising, wages have gone up, like that double now, wages, and margins have dropped. So margins have dropped, costs have gone through the roof, and yeah. So anyway, with that, I'll leave you with it. If you heard the big bang, it was my neighbour driving, so they're up there driving through my trees. So I don't know if she had a blackout, but her car smacked through the tree. She seems okay, but a little shaken. Straight off the edge of the thing. It's a big crash. Something always happens when I do my video. It's not mower barking this time. It's my neighbour driving a car off the cliff. So anyway, I'll leave you with that, and remember, the more you shoot, the better you shoot, and incorporate fitness, diet, cardio, strength training in your archery program, because that's all going to help you. You don't want to have bad back like I've got. I need to do more core. I've been working my shoulders because I don't want my shoulders to be damaged, and my lower back's buggered. So I need to be doing more core stuff. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching.